Facebook Live, and Instagram Live. So I have both right here in the same medium. I just wanted to be able to just check in. Hope you're all doing well. Kind of just tell you what's going on because it's kind of exciting. So for those of you on LinkedIn, I recently put a post out there. Hey, I want to connect with everybody. I have a firm belief that you're only as strong as your weakest link in your network. Pam Jackson, what's up, girl? So I thought that I would reach out to everybody in my network on LinkedIn and be able to connect with them and just see what's going on. Hey, if we haven't spoken to you in a long time on LinkedIn, then let's reconnect. Let's see what's going on. And then for those people that just connect with me and I don't really know, like I want to get to know you. So let me tell you. Let's see why we got connected. What's going on? So that's the idea. So I was just literally sending out, I think like 100 or some odd messages right now. It's not glamorous, right? It's not exciting. It's not a cool part of the business, but it's necessary as you're building out your network. Plus, for me, it's a great way to purge people out. So if people have connected with me and I'm like, dude, I don't know why we're connected. There was one guy that literally our message back and forth. He spoke in German. My response was in English. I sent him another response here today. Let's just see what's going on. I do not speak German. I do speak Filipino, which really isn't that useful in the community that I live in, but that's just neither here or there. So I just want to be able to just share that with you because I think for a lot of people, they see business and it becomes a little bit elusive, and I want to give a little bit of what's going on because I think it's a little bit more valuable than just generalities. I want to give you specifics. So for me, literally, I typed out this template that I had and I copied and pasted and then I edited it for the different people that I was sending it to, right? So if you're local, then I said, hey, let's just connect. Elizabeth Hamilton, what's up, girl? Which, by the way, if Liz makes a comment, I'm going to pin her just because she's fantastic. I like her humor. So I think that's one thing about social media is that if you have a personality, which a lot of us do, then you should just share that. And it doesn't mean that every single one of your posts is awesome, but just whatever. So I wanted to be able to just come out here and just tell people kind of what's going on. Tim Passau, what's up? And then I am really enjoying this book, by the way. I will recommend this to anybody. Sorry. I'll tell you a little about that, what that note is. It's pretty cool. So Crushing It by Gary Vaynerchuk. And I'm a firm believer that even if you don't want to build a personal brand, I think, though, being able to sell yourself in business is the way to go. So if I'm going to be graduating from college, Donna, what's up, girl? If I'm going to be graduating from college or I'm getting into the workforce, if I don't have like a show me resume, like I don't have really if I don't have valuable content about videos of me or stuff that I've worked on, I am missing out on the ability to be able to persuade people to want to do business with me. And I think that's a huge thing. So you don't have to want to be entrepreneurial. You don't have to have your own side hustle. I think you need to be able to control, though, your digital footprint. And I think a lot of people, Sarah, how's it going? I think a lot of people are missing out on that. So what's fascinating to me is, for those of you that live in Wisconsin, you're familiar with this company called Marcus Theaters. Does about $500 million in sales. So I know people like in Elizabeth, they're like never even heard of that company. It's a $500 million in revenue a year. It's in the Fortune 1000. It's a huge company. I will swap tweets with the CEO of this company, Marcus Theaters. And so I just recently just put a video out and I had this and I said, hey, Greg, I'm going to be down in Milwaukee next week, Monday, want to meet up with you. And then I sent it over and I tagged, of course, the business. And so I don't know if I'm going to be able to meet up with him. He hasn't responded yet. Sometimes he does. Again, he's running a huge $500 million business. I don't expect him to get back to lowly Sherm. However, what's interesting is if I make a phone call to that business and like, hey, Greg Marcus, I'm going to get blocked by a gatekeeper every single time. But yet on Twitter, I can get a hold of the guy. And so really interesting dynamic. And so the fun thing for me is I'm going to go down to the business whether he sets a meeting up with me or not. And then boom, it's going to be like, hey, I'm Sherman. Bam. So the interesting thing about it is he'll know who I am. So really where this came to fruition was last year. And I got real hot and heavy, by the way, in like October of 2016. That's when I really got all in here on social media. And then fast forward 6 months later, I'm going to this Lexus dealership for like this kind of meet and greet. I'd gotten some work done at their it's the largest top 50 car dealerships, which, by the way, car dealerships are totally doing their stuff wrong. I'll be doing a presentation on that on Friday. But anyway, Nicole Sheridan, what's up? So what happened, O'Malley's? What happened was I'm there at this event, and we're eating, and it's a really cool event. Alex, how you doing? And what was fascinating is that one of the owners, last name is Bergstrom, huge. It's the number one dealership in all of Wisconsin. And he and I start chatting, and he's like, "Oh yeah, sure." Like you and I were chatting back and forth on Facebook or on Twitter, and I was like, "Oh, cool." And he was one of the owners, and so his last name is Bergstrom. So and then so afterwards, I connect with him, and I'm like, "Hey, let's just let's stay connected on LinkedIn." And then he shoots me a Facebook Messenger, and it's like, "Hey, Sherm, thanks for coming out to the event. It was great to see you and your family." Bam. And so that was fascinating to me that here's a guy in his age, he's in his 50s. So for him, he didn't use the context, he didn't use the LinkedIn method of connecting with me, but he didn't have a problem using Facebook Messenger, which again, it kind of flies into the face for some people that like, oh, certain demographics, they don't want to work with you. Man, it doesn't matter. Colin, what's up, buddy? Colin, by the way, if he makes a comment, is all the way here from England. So we're getting across the pond. Heather Parody, what's up? So it's just been a lot of fun to be able to use these tools and just see what are people responding to, what's engaging with them. I like LinkedIn Live. I like Facebook Live. I like Instagram Live because I like to be able to have, okay, I have this theme that I want to bring up to you, and then I want to be able to engage with who's on the, which eyes are watching. But the fascinating thing about it, and so we can have like a live session, and it can be evolving. There we go. I'm going to pin him. Loving your work, Colin. Loving you, bro. And I'm grateful for that. Marva Call. What's up? I love that lady. So what's fascinating is the content becomes unique. It becomes new. And then Pinterest, sorry, the just message came down that Pinterest, by the way, if you're like in some kind of Etsy or artsy, crafty, I think that's a hot place to be because everybody else is here on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and then those things. And I heard Gary Vaynerchuk talk about Pinterest, and I think there's a lot of attention over there if you can grab people. So one of the interesting things about it when I do these live sessions is you guys will just jump on whoever's convenient for your schedule, and then you'll jump off. And then what happens, though, I'll look back, and there'll be way more views than what's on it right now. So right now, you guys see it, hey, there's only 4 people on Facebook. There's only 7 on here on Instagram. And that doesn't bother me at all. I don't care about how many people are on. I care about how many people are going to eventually watch. And so we can have a really fun time together. We can, you guys make comments. We can kind of break out of that. I still need to break out of my Facebook comfort zone. Pam, a lot of people do. And I think that's where, so the interesting thing about it is there's 2 billion people on Facebook, right? And then there's 1 billion people using it daily, active users, which is kind of crazy. So think about the population of the world, 7.3 billion people. And then you have basically 15% of the population, the world's population, on Facebook. Now, of course, there's probably some businesses thrown in there that affect the numbers, but whatever. Us 4 are awesome. Absolutely, Heather. It's not about the number of people that are there. It's about the engagement. And so for me, I don't get caught up with the numbers at all. I care about that Pam's made a comment. I care about Marva's made a comment because she's fabulous. I'm going to love that comment if Facebook lets me. Whatever, I can't do it. I love that Heather's on and makes a little emoji of smiling. I love that Colin made a comment. So all that engagement for me is far more important. If even one person's on here, that's all I care about. So one of the fascinating things about a lot of this is that there's a lot of familiarity with this context, right? So a lot of you are consuming a ton of stuff. And by the way, don't feel like you need to keep up because I'm going to be cranking out too much stuff. You just can't keep up. Merudik, what up? Raul, good to see you. Michael in the house here on Facebook. So don't try to keep up. It's okay. I typically have themes. Monday's leadership, Tuesday's career progression, Wednesday's motivation, Thursday social media, Friday is personal development. So I try to keep within this kind of theme. Right now, if you follow me on Instagram, I'm just reviewing this book chapter by chapter because I want to be able to give some people some value. The Beast Within You, we had a freaking awesome podcast yesterday. So in all of that stuff, the funny thing about it is when you meet me face to face, if you don't, we haven't met in a while, or you've never met me before, because we're engaging on these tools online, there is a familiarity with me that you're going to call me by first name. We're going to be buddies. We might need a hug. If you're a hugger, we might do the bro hug. What's up? Keep our butts out, because that's just what we do as dudes. And so there's an interesting thing that we have to, Pam, you go to the meeting. Do not miss out on meetings. So that's the fascinating thing about it, is that, so for this, a lot of these tools, remember, they're communication. And it's a two-way dialogue. It's not me just pushing stuff out. It's us engaging. And that power of communication really ends up lending itself for us to be able to really keep a relationship going, which is just fantastic. So for those of you that want to keep in touch with some really good friends, make sure that they come up in your feed. On Facebook, you can make sure that they come up first. On Instagram, just like their stuff and start leaving comments. And then what's going to happen is you're going to constantly be aware of their stuff that's going to be coming up. And so the fascinating thing about all these things is that engagement that you're having with people on these tools will actually allow you to start building a real relationship. And guys, I'm coming from the context, and so what's funny is my wife was like, you should write a book about that. So she and I, we met face to face, so we kind of knew each other, we had conversation, but then it was a year later, I Facebook Messenger and said, not Messenger, I said, I friended her, friend me. A couple days later, boom, she friends me. And like accepts my friendship, and then all of a sudden, boom! It was like we went to the races. It was like the first time we were like 2 hours. We're just going back and forth, conversation, and then it exploded to the point that she's living 17 hours away, halfway around the world, in a place called the Marshall Islands. You'd have to look it up. Population, 60,000 people that live there, totally all in, and 17 hours time zone difference. She's living halfway around the world. We're communicating. We're all Facebook messages. So, man, I was good at thumbing through. I'm swiping like crazy. We're spending 2 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours just constantly in contact with each other. And then fast forward, we're like, okay, just come out here. So buy a ticket. She flies out, stays together for a week. So it's either going to be an amazing opportunity, right? We're going to totally hit it off face to face, or it's going to totally burn and die. And I'm going to be trying to pawn her off onto friends and say, hey, deal with this girl because that's just not going right. And then what happens is she goes home, still communicate, long distance thing. She then moves here to Wausau, Wisconsin. Okay, tropical island, 80 degrees, that's where she's living. She moves to Arctic, Wisconsin, January, and all of a sudden, fast forward, we're married a year later. So the reason why I bring that up from a context that communication is communication. And right now we have every single way we can communicate. You and I are having literally a live session. However you're consuming it, more likely than not, it's on your cell phone. I am on your phone. And we are connecting, and it's amazing. So meditating, I've met people randomly around the world in good days of MIRC, and that's awesome. Met them in person over the years, yeah. And so that's what's unique is that there's nothing wrong with that. It's fantastic to be able to meet these people then face to face, and that relationship that you built online does exist offline, and so it's amazing. So want to be able to just put that out there for a lot of people that are engaging with me. You're going to continue to see Sherman out there, but what I'm going to do is have a little more themes for those of you that when I do my post, so that way you're getting a little bit more of the meat. But then I'm going to let you in a little bit more on some of the details that I'm working on to be able to just give us a little more context. Mauro, what's up? Amy, how you doing? And so, by the way, Amy, we're doing social media this Friday, and so every Friday in 2018. Over the lunch hour, I will give out some of the different things that I'm doing, what's working. Remember, I'm a practitioner. I don't have a marketing agency. I'm not selling anything here. It's just me just telling you what I think is valuable. And then I want people that are attending, whether you're online or face-to-face, I want you to give me your thoughts on what's going on and what's going really well. You have to invest in these relationships. Absolutely you do. You have to remember, these are relationships. This isn't a digital, fake robot. These are actual human beings. So when you respond to them and you say something nasty, a human being, right? You've said something nasty to a human being, and then they're going to respond as a human being does, and not like that. And so it's interesting. So what I want to be able to do in giving a little bit of meat to these Friday meetings is that I have a theme. So this Friday, because I do talk to a lot of people in network marketing, and they want a lot of, okay, how should I do this, Sherman? Because once they kind of hit up their really close friends, it now gets to a point of just any normal sales gig, and it's like, okay, how do I introduce this to people? And Hey, no problem. You have to go. I love it. I'll be posting this up later. By the way, I do take the live sessions and I will save them and then I post them up to YouTube. Sometimes the video content quality is not great, but I think it's kind of nice for people that are on my YouTube channel that they can consume it at a faster pace. So if you watch this on Facebook later, you have to watch it at 1-for-1 speed wise. But if you go onto YouTube, now you can listen to it at 2 times the speed. And me 2 times the speed, by the way, is fast. Sure. What are these daily things again? Friday social media. Oh yeah. So the way that I do on my podcast is Monday's leadership, Tuesday's career progression. So climbing that corporate ladder, or if you're having your own business, growing it. And then Wednesday is motivation. Thursday is social media, and then Friday is personal development. So Friday, what I do there though is just I wanted to be able to just give a lot of value to my local community and start establishing a relationship. No, what's the right word? I wanted to establish more of a go-to place for social media. We have some really cool companies, some really cool manufacturers. A lot of people don't know that Foot Locker is run a lot of it through this company called East Bay, footlocker.com. East Bay is here locally in this tiny town of Wausau, and they got a pretty good social media game. So I wanted to be able to just give back some of the things that I'm working on. At the same time, I wanted people to give me some thoughts of what's working well for them. What are they going through? Are they using websites and search engine optimization? And are they using Facebook ads? And how's that working for them? And that can give me a better understanding of what's going on in the marketplace. And so I want to be able to just share with you a little bit about what I do. Now, I live in a very heavy compliance business. The only way that you can know what I do professionally to drive income is to go on my LinkedIn account, and then you can see a little bit there. But I have a company, corporate, the corporate office, the compliance department that watches everything that comes out of LinkedIn. So you got to be very careful on what you post out there and what you like and what you share. And so here, though, on these mediums, I can just be me. I just be Sherm talking about whatever. Can't talk at all about who I work for, where I work, and what we do specifically. So I can talk about some of those themes of sales and marketing, but I can't get it too heavy into kind of what I do already. And so I want to be able to just share with people so they understand the actual specifics. I want to get down into the details because I think that's what people want, is they want the details of how they can start growing their own digital brand or their digital footprint and start moving in a way that's meaningful. Because I think for some people, I love this story, by the way. It's in Crushing It. This guy named Louis Blaca. He's a high school art teacher. And on the side, he started teaching those wine and painting classes, and then auctioning off his paintings. And he thinks he'll make about, I think it'd be 20,000 in 2016, and then he anticipates that he'll make. So the cool thing about that is that here he is doing the job that he loves, high school, teaching art, and then he's got this side hustle that's going to produce another stream of income. And I think for a lot of people, I think that's where they're going to end up going, is having this other business that produces income. I think that's pretty exciting. So if I can be of any value to you guys, feel free to shoot me a DM. Feel free to leave me a message. Give my cell phone. It's out there. You can find me any which way that you can. And of course, feel free to go on to calendly.com and schedule time. Love to. Cheryl, what's up? Dude, Chris Morrow. .careers.com. So yeah, feel free. So this Friday we'll be talking about leveraging social media for those of you that are more in the direct sales kind of marketing arm. And then the following week we'll be talking about. Oh shoot, I took a photo with my phone. It is, if you're a sales rep, how to leverage social media. And so we'll have a different theme. So look forward to seeing y'all. Don't know why I said it like that, but I did. Sherm's out. Boom. Boom.